Effective communicator with strong logical problem solving and organizational.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you.
Hi, ma'am.
Great. So, we are going to have a little conversation about what is stress, when does it start, what to do, is our mental health affecting us. So, thanks for all that introduction, Riddhi and Vridhi, because I have been working on this aspect for the last 27 to 30 years almost. And there's a little change I would like. I love your topic, that what is stress, what are the causes of stress, and how it comes about, and when to catch it so that we can change it instantly. Right? And that's why I have said that what we are all born with health. And the whole idea is to enhance our health. And that's why I've said that enhancing wellness is something which we need more. Because when we are talking about stress, stress is something which will give us more stress. But let's talk about wellness and how we can create that wellness and make ourselves happy, healthy, and enjoyable in our day-to-day activities. Because there is Dhwani has told us a lot, and thanks Dhwani, she has said such lovely aspects and totally true aspects about how what causes stress. And this is something which even I would like to tell you, if you really get on to the next, initially the initial factors which were affecting stress was like, even with people when they were aging, there was stress. When our loved one died, we felt stress. And Dhani has also talked about relationships. So divorce or strained relationship gave us stress. When we lost jobs, there was stress. Or if there was increased financial commitments or responsibilities which was coming, birth of a child or something, then the stress would increase. Or when we were shifting homes, moving from one place to the other, then we were having stress. Or if there was a chronic illness like cancer or diabetes, or some aspects of hypothyroidism or hypertension, then many people would get stressed. Another very funny thing is, even getting married is a lot of cause for stress. Another cause is also a vacation, which but this is the stress we were talking about maybe 20 years back. But the stress that we are talking about today is something very different. And that's why, please, let's have the next slide, please. The stress today is coming from the 7 deadly sins. Can we have the next slide, please? Yeah. So, what causes this stress? And that's why I've talked about these 7 deadly sins. And we are getting stressed for no reason, because if we are feeling the work pressure is too much, if we cannot cope up with our day-to-day responsibilities, and that is overwhelming us. Even simple things like doing our day-to-day tasks, or everybody is working, and in that work, all that we're saying, and somehow if we say that if we are too stressed out, we get better paid for it, or we feel, yeah, we have done our work. But that's really just always making us uh, very strained. And here, like Dhwani has also talked about a lot of stress, I would like to just differentiate a little bit between stress and strain. Stress is good. Some part of stress is good, and that is what Dhwani's also said, use stress, because we need that stress. Or unless and until I'm stressed about something, I will not be well prepared for it. But when that stress becomes a strain, then I need to think about it and work on it. Like if I'm worrying about something all the time, if I have, if I'm fearful, if I don't want any kind of a change, then I feel, my God, I mean, if there is like with this pandemic coming in, most of us were stressed out because there was so much of change happening. We were not used to just staying at home. And, we have started working from home. Today, we have become comfortable about it. But otherwise, like working from home or staying at home or the lockdown and getting infected or feeling that we will get infected, that produced a lot of stress. And well, so people started talking about. But if you look at the positive side of it, because of that, we became more digitally savvy. We became connected with globally, which was not being done initially, where we were just, focusing only on our little aspects of our little work or something. But now we have been conferencing globally. Everybody is affected. And that's why it's really important that we get to know about what exactly is stress. And today, for no reason, when we have no control over the results of what we are doing, then we are also getting very stressed out. There are many people who are also getting stressed out if they don't have enough work, and that is really happening a lot because many people are being laid off. So your financial responsibilities are also creating a lot of stress. In this pandemic, we have seen that people have lost their jobs, or they've lost a lot of work, and then economy has suffered. But again, it's now coming back, though there is a little fear about that Omicron virus. And yes, we need to be very clear and effective and take care of ourselves. And I'm sure we'll run through it because our Prime Minister is really working hard on it. And if we are got our vaccinations now with the booster also coming, at least the severity of the problem is less. But in all of that, so that uncertainty as to what will happen tomorrow is something which gives us a lot of anxiety and stress and pressure. So can we have the next one, please? Yes. So here, very, very important is that what is mental health care? Now, please, I want you all to notice this. Mental health creates wellness. Though mental health is of the mind, understand mind and the way we think, that's the way we will feel, and that's the way then we will behave. So, wellness is more than just absence of disease, a dance of life that celebrates physical, psychological, and spiritual harmony. So, when we are talking about mental health, we are talking about our physical self, our psychological self, and our spiritual self. It's just not the mind. It's just not. So, please, I want everybody to understand that mental health means the whole of us, our physical health also, our definitely, and it's not related to just the mind or mental problems, but our mental health and our spiritual health also. We all are spirits too, and it is good to know. And the most important in all of this is that do you value yourself? If you value yourself, you will look after yourself. And there is no harm in that. But we are always giving priority to others, to our family, to our work, to other people around. And we forget about ourselves. But here we need to look after ourselves because if a simple formula, if I'm happy, I will spread that happiness. If I'm angry and irritated, then that is what I'm going to give to the world. So there is no harm in being happy, in understanding, in seeing, overcoming challenges, learning on a day to day basis, and then giving out to the world what is there. But if you are scared, if you have fear, if you have, um, if you have doubts, then it's going to be very difficult as what to give to the others because then you want attention, you want more people to understand, or if you're just looking for approval from people, then it's very, very tough to please everybody. So here my first aspect is, in all of this, please value yourself, right? Now let's get on to the next thing. And here, please switch. Right. So now this is something which I want all of you, that because you all are youngsters, that this is the first aspect we learn, and that is when the job gets you down, or whenever you're feeling that you are low, you need to reflect what is happening. You need to see within yourself as to how you are overcoming or what is really going on in your life. And please, the next one now, please. Yeah. So, how does one know it's abnormal or not? Now, you see that because many people felt as if they were trapped on the treadmill, determined to keep the wheels in motion, and they drove themselves to perform more effectively to a state of total exhaustion. So, here, if this is happening with you, that you are going on doing something but not achieving any benefits of it, and benefits basically health wise, or you're feeling that no, there is no enthusiasm left, or there is no energy left, or you're feeling strained, like why does burnout happen? I've been like talking about and reading and researching a lot about burnout. And 30 year old, they come with the burnout that, oh ma'am, we have had enough work, we've done so much. Because by 35, like they feel like no, they're not looking up to their mornings, they're not looking up, because they have landed up in some kind of a job or a work which initially, yes, it is the money which influences us, but later we feel that we are just on a road, or like we are on a treadmill. We are going on running, but we are not really achieving anything. So that's why many people do feel that now is the time, that the stress has become so overwhelming, that anxiety is setting in. And here, I want to tell you all that stress affects us in four aspects. Please, the next one, please. And these, what are the warning signs and the symptoms? One, we are going to have emotional reactions. And the emotional reactions are, please understand and see that if this is happening with you, you need to look into yourself. You need to reflect. And that is, are you getting angry unnecessarily? Are your moods swinging a lot, that sometimes you're very happy and sometimes you're very sad? You have no control over your emotions. There is, you're always snapping or irritable. You're always a little, uh, I mean, you just don't want to listen to things and people. And you're also withdrawing from people. You want to just contain and be on your own. You don't want to move around with and interact with others. If that is happening, you do need to look around. And the second change that does happen is your behavioral changes. And that is, please, first thing to be affected is your sleep. Because many people, you will see that their sleep at a young age also is affected. Why? What are you so worried about? That you sleep and you cannot sleep and you're feeling unnecessarily perturbed about it. Then your diet is also affected. Either you're eating too much or you're just not eating, or you get into drinking too much. Alcohol becomes a part of lifestyle where you feel that only if you're drinking can you be more relaxed. Yes, alcohol does remove our inhibitions, but the after effects are terrible. After effects make us, that we are not in control of ourselves. Or for any little bit of stress, we are smoking, and we don't know how it's going to be affecting our lungs. I mean, I've had youngsters, when I'm talking, saying youngsters is 35, 40-year-old men, women, all. And they just start their day with a smoke. If they don't have a smoke in the morning, they feel that no, they cannot, use the washroom, which I find like I mean, now that we are talking about it, I find it strange because health is something we are born with. When was it that we've given up on ourselves and taken to all these other addictive habits? Then there are many times that I don't want to go to work. So there is more of absenteeism happening. There are many times I feel like just staying in bed, not meeting anybody else, you know. And it's not as if I'm sleeping or enjoying that. It's just that, like, it's something that's happening, which is, I feel that, it's disrupted my sleep. It's disrupted my patterns of, then it also affects my thoughts, my cognitive abilities. My memory is, I don't have so good a recall. My concentration is affected. Now, where concentration is affected, that is affected of children also. I mean, and stress. Here, I'd just like to tell you a simple aspect. Stress really affects youngsters even, and it must have affected all of you, like, because it's affected me, so it's affected all of us. Is that when we are taking an exam, and though we have learned everything, but when we go into the examination room and when we are reading a question paper, we forget. We know the answer, but we forget, and that recall doesn't come, and we leave our answers. But the moment we come out of the examination hall, oh, I could have written this. Oh, this is what happens. Or even when we're going for an interview, I forget to mention so many things just because I'm so worried and stressed out. And you know, so this is something, a very clear cut explanation of what happens and what stress can do. It affects our problem solving ability and our decision making ability. One thing which I tell all my clients is that do not make any decisions when you are stressed out, especially at night. Make your decisions because you have to live with your decisions. Reflect and see everything properly, what decisions you're making. And then only you will be, because with your decisions, you got to live with your decisions for a few years. But again, don't blame yourself. The other aspects of stress is that we are not so creative enough. Our creativity is subdued. And that we'll see that, when we are happy, when we are getting new ideas. But like this, when we stress, there are no good ideas, there are no newness in anything. And all that I'm feeling is that I'm repeating. So that's why I wrote that it feels like I'm on the treadmill, I'm going on running, but how much have I gone ahead? I haven't moved at all. And there is this lack of achievement. Now, these are the three aspects: that's emotions, behavior, and our cognitive ability or our thoughts. The fourth very important aspect is our physical self. We will see that we are getting more sweaty. There is we have palpitation. Anxiety gives us more heartburns. Then we have joint pains, our full, shoulder pains, or we can have headaches. Then there's dizziness. Also, many people are grinding their teeth, they're clenching their teeth, and we are easily getting tired. Now, all these symptoms, if they are continuous for 2 weeks or 14 days, then we need to work on it. This is something very, very clear. And this is a sign that the stress is something, otherwise, some part of stress is always good. Dhwani has already told you about the flight and fight responses. I'm not going to go into that. But the only little aspect I'd like to say is that if any of these symptoms are recurring and consistent for 14 days or 2 weeks, you need help. You need to see that there is something you can do about it and you can relieve yourself. Let's go to the next slide, please. Yeah. So here, just a simple quote: men feel disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. And that's why our mind is very, very important, because half of the problem comes from how we are looking at it. If we are looking at it that it is too overwhelming or it is something I cannot do, we just need to, we get onto a seesaw that no, this is, not for me. And I feel that there is so much of burden and pressure. Next slide, please, that I cannot relieve myself. That's why I start getting back and back. And here, what is essential is I just on a day to day basis, first of all, most important is that I need to value myself. Only when I value myself, I will get this regime for and create a regime which is good for me. And in that, it is exercise. I need to exercise at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes each. Exercise can be anything, like Dhani has also said, cycling, running, skipping. It can be swimming at a better time. It can be, muscle training, stretching, whatever. Now there's so many apps, but and gyms that have opened. So please value yourself and get your physical training. That is the first thing, because that will also help to throw out the negativity, make our muscles more relaxed, and get into a better frame of mind. The next important aspect is you have to eat well. Eat well means, just this morning, I got this gentleman calling me, and he's not been eating for the last 3 days. And why? Because one, it is cold. He doesn't want to get out of bed. He feels that if he gets out of bed, he will start, going back towards ill health. And two, like food, he looks at food and it gives him a nausea. It gives him, but I really forced him to eat just a sandwich, and he felt better, because we need the energy, we need the proteins, we need the fats, we need carbohydrates, we need everything. And as Thania said, we need to have our veggies, we need our protein. you know we will come into the cholesterol part or the aspects later, but you have to make and value yourself and see what is good and healthy for you, right? And yes, definitely get enough rest. That is, sleep is essential. So that is, a good amount of sleep, like 6 to 8 hours is more than enough. Don't always think 8 to 10 hours. No, 6 hours is also good. And it is a normal phenomena that when we are sleeping, dreams come. When we are sleeping, if we wake up, we should be able to fall back to sleep. You know, 2 hours, and after 2 hours, we do wake up, because that is the rest and relax cycle which goes up and down. And there is no harm in that. We should really look into it. Yes, you have to avoid all caffeines, cigarettes, and alcohols, or all addictions, because here, these are things, it's very easy to do the wrong things. Like alcohol, at some time, you are tempted, and especially like, when friends are having, you want to go ahead. Today, it has become a basic necessity. But do you know that how much of alcohol is fine? Maybe a glass of red wine your doctor might recommend. But anything more than that, it can affect your health. But that's, if you're socially drinking, fair enough. If it is sometimes of the week, fair enough. But you have to look after yourself so that you don't get into negative habits. And also, please schedule some quiet time or me time. I'd like to say meditation or me time. This is the best investment you can do in for yourself, because we get into medical investment, we get into life insurance, but all that is important. But what is most important is my time, and what how I organize my time, or what I do for myself, my growth, what I enjoy, what are my interests. I need to get and understand those aspects and spend time on that. whether it is a movie or a dance, or whether it is like a quiet time, whether it is some game, but I need to give myself a little bit of priority. So that's why you need to prioritize what are the aspects which need to be done and work on that. Now, organize your time. Time is the most important thing, because unless and until if we are into organizing that, what I have seen is that we schedule a meeting, we say okay, but the start of the meeting we schedule, but the end of the meeting is always very irrelevant, and especially in work. I mean, many people, oh, there are very, very few people like Nokia. Somebody was working with Nokia, and he said, no, 5:30 he stops work, whether that work is finished or not. But at 5:30 he makes it a point to stop work. And I thought that was brilliant, because we say, no, my work is still there and I'm working till 9 p.m. and I feel that I have worked so much. Definitely stress will come, because I've not organized my time. I've not valued myself. I've not even valued my work. I've not said that, no, this is the time that I need to stop work. Let me tell you about another doctor I know. You know, he, for 2 days of the week, he has stopped, he does half time. That is like after 2 o'clock, he does not work. And he goes for his badminton game, whether anybody likes it or not. And he's a very, very well known and well practiced doctor. I, it's, but these are certain things from where we learn, because these are aspects which tell us that no, time is for me, not that I'm for time, because time was created to help me. But what I have done is that, oh, Asha, I let time linger on and my work linger on. So I need to prioritize and organize my time. Also, get rid of clutter. Now, clutter, there is mental clutter and also physical clutter. Please stay in a neat and clean environment. If you have seen, like our, even Prime Minister is saying Swachh Bharat. Now, we need to throw away things which we don't need. Get rid of our mental aspects also. Unnecessarily, we are carrying so much of baggage, and it's only creating stress and more stress. The other very important thing is we have to learn to say no. It's all right. If I cannot do something, I have to say no. Like, for example, I'm not good in my financial aspects. So, or I'm not even so tech savvy. Here, like, we have to take this webinar and presentation, and it's only thanks to my husband and my daughter who helped me to switch on the laptop. Riddhi, please take a note, because I do so wherever I can't do something, it's all right. But then there are other things which I can do well. And that's why it's fine to take help from the people who are good at it. Also, whatever I can delegate, I must. I cannot take all responsibility on myself. Let me give out as much work, so that definitely, like, I get very stressed about, some things which I have to do. But here again, I will say conserve your energies, or use your energies to the optimum capacity to make yourself and to work and have the best results. So this is the basic self regime that we need to create for ourselves. Can we get on to the next slide, please? Yeah. So here, what are the steps we need to take? Now, please make a checklist for a daily progress. Now, if you make this checklist, I want all of you to note this down. That, am I sleeping well? Have I done my exercise? Have I given myself my me time? Me time can be meditation. Me time can be anything interesting. It can be, what just sitting next to the my gardening, or whatever I enjoy. That's my time. It's very, very important that I give myself my time. And these are some very important rational steps I need to take to overcome stress. That's why this checklist is something that 10 aspects, please everybody note it down and see, are you working on these aspects on a daily basis? And if not, then we will see. Now, diet is about again food which I like, food which I enjoy, and we all should have a healthy diet. There is enough resources on it, but diet does not mean to go on a diet. That means like I eat whatever is seasonal and whatever is good. There has to be some protein, some carbs, some fats, some seeds, some nuts, some veggies. So whatever I like, whatever I enjoy, and whatever is good for my health, because my health is very important, not only physical health but mental health also. Now, another very, very important aspect is I do need to take work breaks. If I'm working, that cooler moment, when we go to the cooler and we go and start just chatting about it. So, or now because we are working from the house only, so am I getting my little break? Because let me again tell all of you that my mind will be concentrated for 1.5 hours at the most. After every 1.5 hours, I need a break because then I will stop filtering and I will stop incorporating whatever I might just be reading, but it's not like really sinking in. So I need to take my work break and 10 minutes of work break, and I can come back to my work fresh, right? Now, reading or journaling. Now, journaling is very important. Journaling, if we are into writing, you can do that, or whatever you enjoy reading, because reading gives you a mental stimulation. So, but all these have to be of interest. Now, please pursue your hobbies. Take time out for your hobbies, whether it is art or music or dance or games, whatever. Have time for games. You know, and because games is one place where we are playing with the other, there is good competition, and definitely we are playing to win. So here, game, and this is healthy competition. So games should be a part of our lives, you know. And very, very important aspect is our relationships, our love relationships, our friends relationship, our family relationships, that we can interact with people, we can just express ourselves, we can go out. So our relationships are very, very important. And it is very important to see that we are working and we are forgiving, we are gratitude, we have, one-to-one expressions. And also the last thing is, am I able to express my emotions in my relationships? This is another very important aspect, that if I have this checklist and if I go on it on a daily basis, then by the end of it, I can come down and very before I sleep, I have to have gratitude. Thank you, God. Thank you for whatever is happening today. Thank you, for talking to you. Can we go on to the next one, please? So, if you're making this checklist, then you can be much, much better. Because the whole idea of this webinar is that do things for yourself, keep yourself, and if not, yes, you can go for external help. Why? Because mental health brings the spark back into our life. It's very important that we look into this. And when we're talking of mental health, we are talking about happiness, love, resilience. We have to have a purpose or involvement in whatever we are doing. Are we enjoying? Now, let me tell you, because yesterday I met a girl, she must have been in her early 30s, and she was into working with an alcohol company. But she said, I love my job. And because she loved her job, It otherwise, like alcohol company, and everybody had a different viewpoint. There were only men there. She was the only woman. She's had a lot of challenges, but because she enjoyed her job, it was fine, absolutely. you know so are we enjoying what we are doing, or are we just doing for money, or are we getting stressed out of it? So our personal growth or our well-being will be affected. And if our well-being is affected, I cannot be so productive. I'm talking about stress, but more than stress is effect. The effect is my productivity, and my performance. I cannot even be so good with my performance. I cannot give to my company the uniqueness that I have. And this is where I do need external help, and I should not be ashamed of it. Let's get on to the next one, please. Here, the first person to take help from is your physician. Talk to your physician, whoever your doctor is. Because when you are talking about self wellness, you need to talk to first, you will talk to your doctor, and there is no harm in it. Let your doctor guide you, whether it is a physical issue, or it is a mental issue, or it is he will tell you whether you need a psychiatrist or a psychologist, because we cannot assess. A layman or youngster or you people cannot just know whether what help you need. My only aspect is that if you are going to an expert for something, they will guide you properly. Yeah. And depending upon the severity of your problem, you will need help. If you can do your aspects yourself, you will be better. But otherwise, here, let me also differentiate between a psychiatrist and a psychologist. A psychiatrist is a medically trained doctor. He does his D in psychiatry, and he can give you medicines for certain mental ailments, which there are mental illnesses. And today, please, all of us should note that we should treat mental illness just like any physical illness, because it is the mind gives you, and it is how we feel, and that's our action. Because mind affects our health, mind affects my, if I can accept my physical health, I have to accept my mental health also. You are not responsible for any kind, say an OCD or say schizophrenia. You're not responsible. It's just happened. It's just happened, just like say cancer or diabetes. So any of your mental illnesses are also, you are not responsible even for the stress. If I knew how to take, would I like to get stressed? No, but somehow it is happening. That's why it's fine to take help. If I cannot accept, or if I cannot understand it, I need to go to a counselor, or I need to go to an expert. For my exercise, if I can go to a trainer. For my music and dance, I need to go to a teacher. Then for my wellness also, I need to go to a psychologist or a counselor or a expert in that field. It really doesn't matter. It should always be there that yes, I need help, I go for it. If I can talk to my friends and family, fair enough, because our social structure is such that we are very comfortable about talking about it with our family. But many times family also says, cannot give us the answers, you know and the simplest thing is that a professional will be non-judgmental, and a professional is more objective. A professional can give you the answers and create that wellness, create that health, that you start enjoying life. Life was made for us to enjoy. We need to understand that, and we need to be easy about it so that we can flow through it, and we will. And here I assure you that all of you can there is no need to stress. That's why we need to work on our wellness and grow from there. And whenever that little bit of stress is coming, we need to understand it and we can reverse it so that we are back into our health. And there are many, many aspects which we can do, which will make us very, agile, enjoy life, and make this life like a dance. So, any questions? Anything?
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your valuable insights. It has been very enriching. Ma'am, Ashima, ma'am, for you, the question is, with
Yeah.
several mental health challenges, how can we cope to function fully?
Could you please repeat that?
With several mental health challenges,
Hmm.
how can we cope to function fully?
We do need to reflect that what can I do about it? What is the best way I can serve the society? Because what are these mental health challenges? Because half of them are dependent on my thinking. Am I thinking properly? And if I change my cognition or if I change my thought process, then I can achieve a lot, you know. Or am I getting bogged down by just stress and problems, and am I just moving out of the social situation? So the mental health is like, and I tell everybody, the mind is yours. You have to be in control of your mind, not your mind controlling you. Are you understanding that? Because
Yes.
I am in control of my thoughts, not my thoughts are controlling me. When I'm thinking negative, I get into a negative spiral and I get into depression. But if I'm getting into depression, I've trained myself to do that. Now, here I need to train myself to look to positivity, look into optimism. And that's why there are many aspects which you can do where you can create your mental well being. And if you create your mental well being, your physical well being is definitely assured. Yeah?
Thank you so much, ma'am. The next question is, how to help a person who is in denial that he or she is having depression?
Yeah. Now, most of the people who are having depression, definitely they will be in denial. All that one has to tell them is that, you know, value yourself, look for your personal growth. If you're growing personally, if you are interested in whatever you're doing, fair enough. You cannot enforce yourself. It has to come from the individual himself that he wants your advice or he wants your help.